A man I wanted to interview for a long time. Last year when we started doing interviews, he was sick. He had a blood poison and was very, very close to heaven's door. But thank God he's back with us. Gaybo Howard, Stammerin man, 50 years involved in the RAS in Ireland as racer and as worker, and now standing with us. Tell us a bit more about yourself, Gaybo.
I can't say I was too close to heaven's door. I wouldn't be dead sure on that bit. But the heaven's door, I was near the door, but I don't know which one. I started cycling when I was 14 years of age. My father was involved in St Patrick's Club, which is unfortunately no longer in existence. It went on to be the Mullen Road Club. And I took up cycling when I was very young. I rode my first Ross in 1964. I was with it on a motorbike in 63 with a great friend of mine doing service. All the service at that time was done off motorbikes. And then I progressed from 1964 onwards to ride 21 Rosses. I won a stage in 1965. I won the longest stage that year into Bourke, from Monaghan to Bourke. And I finished third overall, and I was fourth twice, I was fifth twice, I was ninth twice. It was a long career on the bike, and then as soon as I became 40, I rode 2 veterans races. I won the 2 of them, and I said, well, I didn't get as much fun out of that as that, so I decided I'd build up the Mullen Road Club, and we built it up very strongly. And even last week, Craig Sweetman got a silver medal in the championship, and yesterday he was second again, and we had some great days in the club. It's a very strong club, very well-known club, and it's a club that does a lot for charity as well. So the club is very well-known up our area and very well respected by everybody. And even a couple of weeks ago, Fast in Transport came along to us and said that he wanted to buy us new transporter. So we have a new transporter behind us, a new wagon there, just because the guy likes cycling and he thinks the club is fairly well run,
Well, Gaybo, I always have admired, especially your commentating skills. They are quite funny for people who don't know you. There's a lot of sometimes the word that you cannot use, but my God, why not here? We're not censored at all. We do what we want. This is the Belgian project, So, but I actually learn of your videos as well. I watched some videos of you and how the way you because you seem to know everybody.
I actually know practically every cyclist in every race because I'm so many races. There was one August, and this is the truth, there was one month of August, and I was at 28 different venues of races. Now, some of them races had 5-6 races on at the same time, but I was at 28 different venues. So you get to know everybody, and the sort of guy that would talk to anybody, and everybody talks to me, and I just went into commentating just by pure accident, and it's strange, but it's good and it's enjoyable. But when you're commentating, you have to do a couple of things. You have to keep the people, the spectators, on your side as well, and you need to rev up the spectators as well as the riders, and you need to know what colour the riders' jerseys are, what shape they are on the bike. I'd be able to tell you the shape of a top rider coming in the top gate there. You have to do that, or you might as well be at home, and there's one or two of the commentators able to do that, but I'm with so many races. Yes, I know them all. There was one thing, I worked for LMFM radio for a long time, and Brendan Cummins, the head of sport, was with me one day on the Ross, and I looked into the mirror, and I called the winner of the Preem at Gormanston, looking in the mirror behind me, and he spoke about it for about 6 months, that I could actually call the winner of the Preem by looking in the mirror. Just the shape of the guy, knew who it was, knew the colour of the bike, and then in the Ross it's slightly different. I never done the commentating on the Ross because I'd rather do neutral service. I do neutral service now. I'm doing it for Sean Coakley, and I are doing it for, he's with me 12 years, but I'm doing this since I stopped racing, and that's 30 years ago, literally. And we enjoy that, and I enjoy looking at the race, and I'd rather be looking at the racing than commentating on the Ross. But the commentator on the Ross now, Cian Lynch, very, very good. But I would know literally everybody, and their father, their mother, their brother, their sister. Last year, when I was doing the commentary on the All-Ireland Championship, Sean Kelly's daughter crossed the bottom of the street, and I actually seen her. She was 200 metres away, and I could tell the people who she was. I just couldn't tell her what she had for her breakfast.
Yeah, you're very, very talented that way. My only when I can recognize riders as well, but mostly in lady races from sitting behind in the commissary car. But that's about all I can recognize. You know, you have that ahead of me that you actually recognize everybody. But it's a skill. It's a skill because I'm learning this job here, and it's hard because I have to find the right questions. Also, some people are very hard to interview because they just threw you off. You know, but we've done here a great job. I think we're going to have a few laughs.
I'd just like to say one thing. I'm blessed because I'm married to the best lady in the country. There's no doubt about that. And she's interested in cycling, and she does more for cycling than most people in this country. She's absolutely fantastic. She runs more races on the quiet. Nobody even knows she's there. She's very quiet, but she does all the results, all the publicity and everything for all the local races at home. And the local clubs all... They nearly die if she's not going to be there. For instance, there's a race up in the Campbell Memorial races in Dunor on the 19th. And when Gerard, that runs the race, Gerard Campbell, heard that we were going to the Tour de France this year, he nearly passed out because Kay wasn't going to be there. As he said, he could do without a loudmouth like me. But Kay was the results secretary, or is the results secretary for all those, and she does a fabulous job. So I'm blessed to have her on my side, like, you know.
So the message is, after every good man, there's a better woman.
Oh, absolutely, a better woman. Someone said to me the other day, I was talking to a former Tour of Ireland winner, John Short, and he said his son was making a mistake. In 3 weeks he was getting married. Of course he was joking. And I said, John, you didn't make a mistake, or I didn't make a mistake. It was the best thing to happen to us. So, I mean, you know, so, I mean, but you have to have the family behind you as well, or it just doesn't work, like, you know.
Even I'm not racing, but without my wife there would be no Belgian project, because she's the one. Even she's not interested in racing at all, but she likes the social bit of it. You know, she likes to be around, cook for the lads, do all these things. But racing herself, you know, to her it's man in lycra. You know.
Yeah, when men in lycra, when we were racing many years ago, on a wet day, T.P. Riley used to say, well, on a wet day, the shorts was held up by the crossbar because they were very, they were, what would you call it, wool-like, and it was very hard to control stuff, but the clothing and the gear and everything has changed so drastically. It's great. And so many people now interested in cycling. There's a huge number of people. There's thousands and thousands out on the bike every day of the week, and it's fantastic. It's just as turned around. For years people would say, oh God, what are you riding the bike for? Like, but now everybody wants to ride the bike, like, you know. So it's fantastic altogether.
What do you think about the fines that they now find that they now have put up in Ireland, about fines, you know, extra fines now?
And this is the one that's the law that's going to come in. I think it's stupid, to be quite honest. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think, to be quite myself, I don't think that there will ever be someone's for that, because I mean, sometimes you have to ride on the potholes out on the road to get around the potholes. Now, if there is somebody summoned for for riding out on the road, and they're going by a pothole, well then they can sue the county council, because that's why they were out on the road. So I think it's the most ridiculous thing that the government ever come up with. Like, I think it's absolutely, I would think, stupid. I don't think it'll ever work, because I mean, a guard could ask you what's your name, and you could tell him you're Mickey Mouse from Disneyland, and that's your address, so he can't contradict you. You know, it's not. It won't work. It's as simple as that. Like, it's a stupid thing. Like, you know, but I think I do agree with them going through traffic lights. I think that should be a fine. Or littering. I think littering is absolutely a fine as well, or things like that. But there is some of it now is absolutely stupid what they're thinking of. You know,
it cannot be policed, really. You know, simple as that.
No, it can't be policed. No, it definitely can't be policed. Who do you think now? I'm going to ask you a question. Who do you think is going to win the Tour de France?
Well, I don't think it's going to be Froome or any of these guys. My wish, but this is wishful thinking, could be an Irishman with Daniel Martin. That's my tip. Wouldn't
it be fantastic? Wouldn't it be fantastic? I think he'll win on Monday, up the high. I actually backed Contador to win it, 5-1. I backed him each way. So, but I'm a gambling man then. I gamble on two flies going up a wall. So, but I think we're going to the Tour actually. My family's gone to the Tour for about, I suppose, the 20th time or more. Our first tour was in 1980, 82, 84, all along there. We were going to the Tour every time we had money. It's as simple as that. When we had money, we went to the Tour, but it was better to go to the Tour de France than go to Galway races and lose it all there. You got some enjoyment, you know. But yeah, fantastic. It's a great 3 weeks to look forward to when this race here is over. And who's going to win this is anybody's guess too.
Oh, definitely, because today there's only a second in between first and second. There was no bonus points here or seconds here today. The time trial will just decide probably.
Well, we were very unlucky today because Craig Sweetman, who finished second yesterday, was in the leading group, and it got brought down at the top of the mountain. Some chap fell in front of him, and he was brought down. And if he had to stay in that leading group, all he had to do was stay in, and he had the jersey. So we're a bit unlucky in that way, but it's not over yet. You know, it's definitely tomorrow's. The time trial is going to be hard, but tomorrow is going to be very hard. It's a very good race, well organised.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, they say. I don't know who the fat lady is, but let's people here who are watching this make their mind up. Thanks very much, Gaybo, for talking to us. It was a long time coming. I had got you now, so you're in the list of fame now of our interviews.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to do the interview with you. Thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant.